Hey scholars, in this lesson we are going to begin our unit on character traits. So this is lesson 1, and in this lesson you will be able to understand what a character trait is, read a short passage, and decide on a trait that represents that person in the story. So let's start off with what, first of all, is character trait. Well, you know what a character is. A character is a person or an animal in a story. And each of those characters always act differently, whether they're silly or angry or grumpy or determined. Any of those words can be a character trait. So let's look at the definition first. It says, these are words that are described a person that you can learn from the text or illustrations. So how do we get these character traits? We get these character traits by reading the story. We can also get the character traits from looking at pictures within the story and deciding how could we describe that character. So we can look at our characters in two different ways. We can look at them from the outside. So those are called external. So if I look at this little girl right here, on the outside, the external, she has brown hair, she's pretty, she's short, she's little, she's wet because she's jumping in a puddle, and she's really young. That's what I can tell from the outside. Now, if I was reading a story about her and about her adventure right here, I could maybe come up with that she's adventurous. She's mischievous, which means she's kind of sneaky. She's playful. She's happy. You can tell she's happy by her smile. She's brave. She's curious. Okay? So those are character traits that are on the inside. When we are talking about character traits, we want to focus more on what is the inside of our character versus the outside of our character. That's going to help us get to understanding the theme. So we're going to practice a couple. We're going to read a couple little stories, and we're going to decide what is the best character trait for them. Okay, so let's talk about some of these real quick. The first card says, identify one character trait about yourself. So if I was going to describe myself, a character trait that's on the inside of me, not something you see on the outside, I would say that I am very organized. If you ever come to my house, things are where they're supposed to be. Even at school, you should notice that Miss Esther has her stuff organized and neat and clean. It's not a very messy room, okay? And then how would you describe me? Some of you might say that I'm mean. Some of you might say that I'm nice. Some of you might say that I'm funny. I don't know how you describe me. How would you describe Mr. Hagee? I would say that Mr. Hagee is determined. He is organized. He is thorough. Okay, those would describe. And then how would you describe your parents? Okay, what's a character trait that, would describe how your parents behave? Are they funny? Are they responsible? Are they respectful? How would you describe your parents? Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be looking at characters just like we can look at each other, we can look at our friends, and we can come up with a character trait for them. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so let's practice with a few of these short stories. So we're going to read this passage here at the top, and then we're going to ask ourselves which of these character traits best represents the character. So when we do this, we need to actually be thinking about how the character is behaving in the story and what they are doing, even looking at what they're saying, okay? So let's read the story together. Josie's week is jam-packed. In addition to school, homework, and chores, she has soccer, band practice, ballet lessons, and Girl Scouts. She rarely has time to spend with her friends or watch TV. So it says she has a jam-packed weekend. She has lots of things to do. Okay, she says she rarely has time to watch TV. So what word do you think would best describe Josie? Do you think she's happy? Do you think she's busy? Or do you think she's nervous? Did you pick B? Yep, I think you're right. She is definitely busy. Good job, guys. All right, let's go to another one. Again, we're going to read the story. We're going to think about what the character is doing in the story, and we are going to decide what character trait best represents him. Adam always seems to be tripping over his own feet. He has a knack for dropping things and has accidentally broken several dishes. Last week, he accidentally dropped his dad's cell phone in the sink. which word best describes Adam? Is he clumsy? Is he embarrassed? Or is he funny? So I see that he's dropping a lot of things. He's tripping. So I wouldn't say he's funny. That would be a no. Okay. He maybe was embarrassed when he fell and broke his dad's phone, but I think the best choice would be that he is clumsy. That means somebody who doesn't have very good balance, okay, who is always dropping things. All right, so let's try the next one. No one wants to play with Jackie because she's always telling everyone else what to do. She insists that everyone do things her way and will not listen to anyone else's ideas. Now, I'm sure you've had friends like this or people in your classroom before. So how would you describe which is the best one? Is she cruel, which means she's mean? Is she bossy, which means she's telling people what to do? Or is she impolite, which is the opposite of polite? Which one do you think is best? Did you pick B? Because that is the best answer. Now, could she be impolite? Absolutely. If she's treating people that way, that means she's rude. She's not very nice, okay? But the best choice would be bossy. All right, let's do the last one together, and then you're going to try some on your own. Dwayne is always asking questions. He wants to know all about how things work and why things are the way they are. So, which one would best describe Dwayne? Is he weird? Is he creative? Or is he curious? So this one's kind of a tricky one. I wouldn't say he's weird. So now I'm left with creative and curious. I'm going to read this one more time. He's always asking questions. He wants to know all about how things work and why things work. So I would say he is curious. Awesome job. All right, so on the next slide, you are going to be practicing some of these, and you're going to circle the answer that you think is best.